Here we go again, guys. Here we go. Because on Twitter, this topic went viral. And I actually kind of like these because these give me good video ideas. So I ain't going to really complain about it too much. But, you know, there was a Twitter conversation about Tom Brady, right, who's on his way to the Super Bowl. And some football fans are pointing out that Tom Brady's politics, i.e. his friendship with a former President Donald Trump, hasn't derailed his career the same way that Colin Kaepernick's peaceful protest of police violence did, arguably leading to his exit from the NFL. So that's the topic, and there's a ton of people who have weighed in on this topic, and obviously you can see these tweets have kind of went viral, right? The main one here from Ahmed Ali, who says, "It's funny how people can separate Tom Brady's politics from his game, but struggle to do the same when it comes to Kaepernick." Okay, so what people are essentially saying is that how is it that Colin Kaepernick is being punished for bringing politics into sports, but Tom Brady is not being punished for bringing politics into sports? And the answer to that question is so simple, guys. Tom Brady did not bring politics into sports. Okay, you guys, the super woke leftist liberals, tried to make Tom Brady a political figure because he had a friendship with President Trump. I think Tom Brady had like a MAGA hat or something in his locker, right? And it's not like the dude was running around wearing it. He wasn't at the podium, flaunting it. He wasn't campaigning for Trump, right? Doing games or anything like that. Dude had a MAGA hat in his locker, I think. And I think people started asking him about it and his friendship with the president. So with that being said, what happened was that the liberals tried to take his association with President Trump and try to make Tom Brady a political figure. To try to say, well, why is it that Tom Brady isn't banned from the NFL and kicked out of the NFL because of association with Trump, who, people are saying is, caused an insurrection, is a seditionist and all this other stuff. It must be white privilege. Right? That's the only logical conclusion. It must be more white privilege. This is just the extension of cancel culture, right? It is them trying to use their guy, Colin Kaepernick, who they see as a martyr, and to try to compare him to Tom Brady when really there is no real comparison. Like I said, Tom Brady did not try to bring politics into football or the game, right? However, Colin Kaepernick, on the other hand, did. Okay? Colin Kaepernick choosing to kneel for the national anthem, right? And not, respect the flag, the military, all that good stuff. That was him bringing politics into the game. Okay? And then doing press conferences, he would talk about it. Okay? Right? He talked about it off the field as well. The man brought politics into the game. I mean, this really is a silly conversation because it's not even a comparison. I don't remember any time where Tom Brady has openly advocated or campaigned for President Trump or some type of policy while at a football press conference or on the field. But I can't say the same about Kaepernick. Okay, that's the difference. Okay? And also, the difference is that these liberals tend to forget is that Colin Kaepernick is not Tom Brady. If Colin Kaepernick was actually good, if he was the same quarterback that he was, I think, in 2012, right, when I think he went to the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers, he would still be in the league. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, look at Antonio Brown, Hall of Fame wide receiver, head case, nut case, right? Still got chances to be in the league, right? Out of all the shenanigans that he had, all the things he was doing, the NFL didn't really care. They don't really care as long as you can play, okay? Kaepernick, on the other hand, he could not play anymore. He wasn't good anymore. Also, on top of him not being good, he brought negative attention to the league, right? He caused fans not to watch the game, to tune out, okay? So when you bring too much negative exposure, plus you're not good enough, your performance doesn't match or doesn't overcome that negative exposure, you're going to be out of the league. Now, Kaepernick also got another chance to be in the league where he's the only player that I can think of in NFL history that got a whole day solely dedicated to him working out for all 32 NFL teams. He got his own pro day. Just him. His own combine. And you know what Cap did? He decided not to show up to where he was supposed to show up. Instead, he held his own workout at a high school football field. A high school football field. And showed up in a Kunta Kinte shirt. Okay? He continued to tell the world, I'm going to be political. I'm going to be divisive. If you let me back into this league, I'm going to keep being divisive. I'm going to keep costing you money. That's what Kaepernick did. Okay? And it's almost like these woke revolutionaries, they tend to forget the whole story. Tom Brady took that MAGA hat out of his locker once he got his backlash. He was like, all right, I'm done with this. He even came out as far as to say that he was uncomfortable with President Trump from a political perspective, right? He even went that far, right? When Brady got the backlash, he was like, all right, no politics. I'm done with it, right? Kaepernick, on the other hand, he kept running with the politics because Kaepernick started to make money off of politics. That's also why I don't feel bad for Kaepernick. And I also don't understand why these super liberals want to keep running with this Kaepernick story as if he's some type of martyr, as if he sacrificed something. He sacrificed nothing. Kaepernick is sitting home getting paid millions of dollars from Nike and all these other woke companies. I really just hate how they try to make this man out to be some type of martyr. I don't understand. This man unjustly is going to go down as a civil rights icon, right? And he didn't have to suffer any of the consequences that real civil rights icons usually have to suffer. I mean, Gandhi got capped. MLK got capped. Malcolm X got capped. Cap made money. Cap made millions off being a civil rights icon. Somebody tell me how that works. Okay? I don't get it. He ain't got to do nothing. All he got to do is tweet every now and then. Show up to a couple Know Your Rights camps. Do a commercial every now and then. Pretend like he's being banned from the NFL. He can get paid millions of dollars. And he doesn't even have to take the risk to go on the field and potentially get his brain scrambled, right? Like all these other guys in order to get a fortune. He doesn't even have to do that anymore. Kaepernick is fine. Kaepernick is straight. Okay? Kaepernick made it, right? Kaepernick got his paper. Okay? So don't sit here and try to make me feel bad about what happened to Kaepernick as if Kaepernick got treated unfairly. Kaepernick didn't get treated unfairly. Kaepernick got treated the same way Tim Tebow got treated, right? Y'all remember Tim Tebow? When he was kneeling, the first kneeler was Tim Tebow, right? And guess what? Tim Tebow being overly religious made a lot of people uncomfortable. And so many people complained about it that it brought negative attention to the team. And then also on top of that, he wasn't that great of a quarterback. Because he wasn't that great and the negative attention he bought, guess what? He's out of the league. That's how the league works. What happened to Tim Tebow is no different than what happened to Colin Kaepernick. But they try to act like Kaepernick is some type of special situation where it just shows how racist the NFL is. A league that's 75-80% black, that creates the most black millionaires that any institution that I can think of in American history. But it's supposed to be racist. We're supposed to feel bad for Kaepernick. Tom Brady is supposed to lose his job and lose his career, even though this man is probably the greatest football player, if not the greatest athlete, team sport athlete. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat Jordan, right, in terms of team sports, but he's up there. It's Michael Jordan, and then it might be Tom Brady, right? Those are the two GOATs, okay? You trying to compare this man to Kaepernick? Tom Brady didn't bring politics to the game. Kaepernick brought politics into the game, and he used that politics in order to make money after he left the game. Because at this point, Kaepernick chose not to come back. He had a chance. But y'all want people to sit here and boohoo and cry over Kaepernick, and I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of Kaepernick always getting bought up when you think that something is unfair in the NFL. Well, I'm going to give y'all a reality check, man. Life ain't fair. No, the NFL is not fair. Life ain't fair. But you know what? Kaepernick is not one of the guys that's been treated unfairly. The guys that's been treated unfairly are those guys that, are borderline make the roster, that's been used as tackling dummies and hit bags that come in and they last for 2 years maybe, and then they out of the league. Right? Or the guys that, end up with traumatic head injuries and brain injuries. Those are the guys that probably are getting the shit in of the stick in the NFL. Kaepernick's not one of those guys. Cap is fine. So I think this conversation on Twitter, I just think is pointless. But at the same time, I want to chime in on it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black Considered Perspective. Peace.